Can you imagine being fined for wearing a rainbow t-shirt? That's exactly the absurdity that turned my quiet suburban life into a full-blown neighborhood showdown. My name's DVYD, and last summer, my 16-year-old nephew, Ethan, came to stay with me in the pristine, rule-obsessed community of Meadow Vyew Estates. What should have been a chill summer by the pool became a battle against the iron fist of our HOA's queen bee, Linda Harper. I just joined the Meadow Vyew HOA board, still figuring out the maze of bylaws and meetings, when Linda, the HOA president for 6 years running, decided to make Ethan her latest target. Linda was the kind of person who'd measure your lawn with a ruler and send you a violation notice if your mailbox wasn't the exact shade of taupe she'd decreed. Most folks just nodded and complied to avoid her wrath, but I've never been one to bow to petty tyrants. Still, I kept things civil, paid my dues, and hoped to nudge the rules towards sanity from the inside. The trouble started on a sunny Saturday when Ethan and I headed to the community pool. He was rocking his favorite t-shirt, a simple white tee with a rainbow across the chest, something he'd snagged at a science museum exhibit about light. We were barely spreading out our towels when I caught Linda's laser-focused stare from her shaded throne by the snack bar. Her heels clicked ominously as she strutted over, her voice syrupy but sharp. "DVYD, we need to talk about your guest's inappropriate attire," she said, pointing at Ethan like he was smuggling contraband. I blinked, confused. "Linda, he's wearing a t-shirt and swim trunks. What's the issue?" Her lips pursed, and she leaned in, her oversized earrings jangling. "That shirt is a political statement. Our bylaw section 8, paragraph 3, subsection C ban political displays in common areas. You should know this, being on the board." Ethan glanced at his shirt, then at me, his face a mix of shock and embarrassment. I felt my blood start to simmer. "Linda, it's a rainbow. From a science museum. It's about physics, not politics." Her eyes narrowed, scanning the pool deck for an audience. "We all know what rainbows mean in today's climate," she hissed. "Change the shirt, or you both leave. Now." Ethan's shoulders slumped, his excitement for the day draining away. That's when I decided I wasn't playing her game. "Show me where the bylaws say a rainbow a natural phenomenon is political," I shot back. "Until you do, we're staying." Linda's face twitched, and used to defiance. "As president, I interpret the bylaws to protect our standards. Comply, or I'll call security." "Security?" We had Joe, a retired mechanic who checked pool passes and mostly napped. I caught Joe's eye across the deck. He gave a tiny shrug, clearly over Linda's theatrics. "We're not levying, and Ethan's not changing," I said firmly. "Take it to the board if you want. Until then, we're swimming." I led Ethan to the other side of the pool, ignoring Linda's fuming glare. I thought that'd be the end of it, but the next morning, a crisp envelope was taped to my door. Inside? A violation notice citing inappropriate political displays, and a DULA 100 fine, signed with Linda's flourish and a little star over the I in Harper. It was so over the top it was almost funny, except it wasn't. Fining a kid for a rainbow t-shirt wasn't just ridiculous, it felt deeply wrong. I hit the internet, digging into HOA laws, and called my friend Sarah, a civil rights lawyer. After hearing the story, she didn't mince words. "This is discrimination, plain and simple. Targeting a rainbow as an LGBTQ symbol, especially on a minor, is illegal. Linda's on thin ice." Armed with Sarah's advice, I decided to confront Linda at the HOA's weekly coffee hour, where she held court like a suburban monarch. The community center was packed with the usual crowd, retirees sipping decaf, parents dodging toddler meltdowns when I walked in, the violation notice in hand. Linda was mid-rant about someone's unapproved porch light when I cut in. "Linda, can we talk about this fine?" Her smile froze, but she waved a hand. "It's clear-cut, DVYD. Political displays aren't allowed." I kept my cool, aware of the eyes on us. "Ethan's shirt is from a science museum. It's not political. And if you're reading it as an LGBTQ symbol, That's discrimination, which is illegal. The room went quiet. Linda's smile flickered, but she doubled down. You agreed to our bylaws when you moved here. If you don't like them, maybe Meadow VYEW isn't for you. I pulled up the bylaws, highlighted for effect. I've read them. Nothing bans rainbows. My lawyer says your actions could land the HOA in court. I'm not paying, and you need to drop this before it blows up. Linda's face turned beet red, clashing with her mint green blouse. Are you threatening me? She squeaked. I'm just stating facts, I replied. Discrimination violates federal law. For a second, I saw doubt in her eyes, but she straightened up. We'll settle this at an emergency board meeting tomorrow. Be there. She stormed off, Leah VYing whispers rippling through the crowd. By the next day, the neighborhood was buzzing. The meeting room overflowed with residents, many who never bothered with HOA drama before. Linda swept in late, arms full of binders, clearly rattled by the turnout. She launched into a speech about upholding community standards, barely hiding that I was her target. But before she could steamroll us, Tom Reynolds, our grizzled treasurer, interrupted. Linda, we're here to discuss the fine on DVYD's nephew. It's raising legal red flags. Linda's smile turned to glass. For 20 minutes she rambled, presenting EVY Denke, including creepy photos she'd taken of Ethan at the pool. I was floored she'd gone that far. When my turn came, I laid it out, the shirt's science origins, the photos as proof, the discrimination angle. We need to cancel this fine and fix our bylaws to stop this nonsense, I finished. The room was dead silent. Then Martha, a quiet widow, stood up. My granddaughter wears tie-dye shirts here. Is that political? Where's the line? That broke the dam. Neighbors shared their own tales of Linda's overreach fines for wrong flower pots, threats over kids' chalk drawings. Linda gripped her gavel, her face crimson, as the room turned on her. The vote to cancel my fine was unanimous, except for Linda's abstention. Then Tom dropped a bombshell, a motion to re-VYEW Linda's presidency for legal risks and power abuse. Linda exploded. I've slaved for this community. Without me, you'd have neon fences and goats in your yards. The vote to oust her passed 7-1, Linda the lone holdout. She stormed out, vowing legal revenge. I thought we'd won, but Linda wasn't done. 2 days later, Ethan burst into the house, pale. Uncle DVYD, that HOA lady's outside, taking pictures of me again. She followed me from the bus stop. Sure enough, there was Linda on the sidewalk, phone aimed at our house. I told Ethan to stay inside and marched out. Linda, this is harassment. You're photographing a minor without consent and trespassing. Leave, or I'm calling the cops. She shoved her phone in my face. He's wearing that shirt again. He's taunting me. Her voice was unhinged. You're stalking a kid, Linda. Last warning. She screamed about community values and indoctrination. So I dialed 911. As I spoke to the dispatcher, Linda's rant carried clear as day. When 2 officers arrived, she didn't even notice until one said, "Ma'am, we're here about harassment and trespassing complaints." Linda spun, indignant. "Officers, I'm reporting this man for..." The officer cut her off. "Are you photographing a minor without consent and refusing to leave private property?" Linda stammered, falling back on her former president excuse. The officer wasn't how-vying it. After she refused to leave, they arrested her for harassment, stalking a minor, and trespassing. As they cuffed her, she wailed about injustice, neighbors gawking from their porches. 3 weeks later, I sat in court as Linda faced the judge. Sarah helped us secure a restraining order for Ethan, backed by our EVY Denke and other neighbors' stories of Linda's harassment. The judge tore into her. HOAs don't exist to bully residents or children. Your actions were far beyond any authority. Linda was fined due law $5,000, got 2 years probation, and was banned from HOA roles. The restraining order kept her 100 yards from us. As the gavel fell, she screamed, "This is a travesty! I was SAVYing property values!" The bailiff hauled her out, still ranting. Meadow VYU's quieter now. Ethan's back to wearing his rainbow shirt, and the HOA's rewriting its bylaws to prevent another Linda. But every time I see a rainbow, I think of the summer we took down a tyrant one t-shirt at a time.